I know we have students in the room. Students in the room. Thank you all for coming. Do we have any resource coordinators? Cincinnati Public School resource coordinators. Cincinnati Public Schools school social workers. Any school social workers? Any Cincinnati Public Schools attendance clerks, attendance staff? Okay. All right, that's fine. Are there any other administrators for Cincinnati Public Schools in the room? Any administrators, principals, assistant principals, central office administrators? Thank you for being here. Community members at large. Community members at large. Wonderful. Are there any partners in the room? School partners? And within the partner group, are there any lead agency, either members or executive directors in the room? Are lead agency members or executive directors? All right. I know that we have some official. I see a couple of school counselors in the room. Raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and we have a really good friend. This person used to be one of my students a long time ago. Brandon is up here, and he's illustrating for us so that we have a record of what we accomplished. Come on, drop it. Test. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, before we have our board president, our mayor come up, on the next slide, we will have what we're hoping. On the next slide, please, thank you kindly. All right, so Cincinnati Public Schools welcomes everybody to the space tonight, and this is really a conversation, as I mentioned, about safety of our young people. Safety of our young people, and I tell you, this is a conversation that I thought about having several weeks ago, because you'll hear more about this, but we have been dealing with a lot of things in our school, in our community, that Cincinnati Public Schools wants to be a part of, that we want to partner in the community to find resolution for. On the next slide, you'll see that my goal for today is to hear your voice. I will share with you some of the things that Cincinnati Public Schools has in place, what we are doing to support the well-being of our young people, but essentially today's purpose is to hear from you so that we can talk together about the challenges we're being faced with and come to resolution. And quite frankly, I am really hoping that we will leave this day with one or two things that we can be committed to doing as a community. Is that all right? Okay, appreciate that. So on the next slide, I believe you will see an introduction to our Cincinnati Public Schools School Board President, Ms. E. Bolton, with a few words.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the superintendent for calling this community meeting. So let's give it up for the superintendent. Everybody here loves our children and our teenagers, or you wouldn't be here. And everybody here is committed deeply to the success of our cities and communities, because it's beyond Cincinnati even. Hard to imagine, Mayor, but yes, a few other communities as well. But we all love our city, and we love that we carry the name Cincinnati Public Schools and have for almost 200 years. But the reality that we're facing here is the reality that the superintendent wants to talk about tonight and listen and figure out how we can all work together. And it's such a great privilege and honor for me as president of the board to represent the 7-member board. But more particularly, it's an honor tonight that I get to introduce the mayor of the city of Cincinnati, who is deeply committed to what's happening here tonight, and every single day is committed to all of the folks in greater Cincinnati, but most particularly our young people. And he has been a trooper, a partner, and frankly, an eloquent voice for our kids and the importance of the partnership between Cincinnati Public and the city of Cincinnati. Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Cincinnati.
Thank you so much, President Bolton. Thank you so much to the interim Superintendent Murphy, and thank you all so much to all of you here in person and watching online. Conversations like this are so critically important to educate, inform, and empower policymakers and elected officials to try to address the concerns and the challenges that we're all facing as just people who love this community, love these kids, our kids, and love this school system. When the superintendent, Eve, invited Cheryl and I to be here tonight, we jumped at the opportunity, because the truth is nothing happens inside the city and nothing happens with the schools without strong partnership between CPS and the city of Cincinnati. That is a strong partnership that respects both of our autonomy. So I certainly don't come into classrooms and tell teachers how to teach, or tell board members how to board. That's a verb. And yet, despite that respect for autonomy, it is incumbent upon all of us, elected officials, administrators, parents, etc., to both hold us accountable, number one, and number two, to expect that we are working collaboratively and effectively, because these challenges that the schools are facing, these challenges that the city is facing, don't happen in a vacuum and don't happen in a silo. And despite our structures of government, people's expectations are that we are working together and effectively and in partnership. So tonight, my goal is number one, to hear from all of you about your lived experiences and your ideas for solutions. But it's also a demonstration that Eve and I, the school board members, and Cheryl and the superintendent, Murphy, are on the same page and clear-eyed about the challenges that we face. And so I really want to spend most of my very brief comments talking about the number one challenge that we face at the city, and that I think one of the top challenges that the school is facing, which is violence, and specifically violence that is perpetrated by children or teens, and violence that is the victims themselves are children or teens. It is a challenge, as President Bolton referenced, that is not just unique to the city of Cincinnati, and frankly not to our region, but across the country. The good news is, because of interventions that the school and the city have been leading, we have seen a dramatic decrease in specifically teen violence. However, it is still a top issue for us. And despite the recent successes on those data points, we are certainly not letting our foot off the gas, so to speak. But that's why we're here tonight, to talk just generally about violence in the city, and specifically violence as it affects the schools, whether it is inside the school or around the school. And I know later on we're going to talk about the root cause of violence. And from my perspective, from the city's perspective, the overwhelming root cause of violence is poverty, and the social determinants of health outcomes on top of that. There's no doubt about that. We are convinced of that in the city, and that's why we're spending a lot of resources to disrupt generational poverty, whether it's wiping out about $135 million of medical debt for 30,000 Cincinnati residents, whether it's our work to try and get baby bonds a reality, our work around housing. We are really focused on trying to create an opportunity where everyone in Cincinnati, no matter where you're born, has the same educational, occupational, and health outcomes and opportunities as everyone else. We are far away from that goal, but we are making investments because we understand that the root cause of violence is often poverty. The one addendum I would add to that is there are two facts going on right now in our country, and specifically our city, that is exacerbating that root cause. The first is the universal accessibility of firearms in our cities. The amount of guns in our cities, the amount of people of all ages, including kids who have access to guns or themselves control or quote-unquote own a gun, is astronomical. In fact, after the violence in and around Woodward a couple years ago, I held a town hall forum with some students, and I asked, how easy is it for you all to get a gun? And to a person, they said, I could get a gun within 30 minutes, I just have to call someone on my phone. The second aspect of this that is really driving violence in our community as we see it is the inability to resolve differences peacefully. What used to be an argument or potentially a fist fight is now turning into a gunfight. That is in part because of the universal access of guns, but is also in part due to social media. Now, I don't want to be up here as an adult trying to understand the psyche of our kids, but research after research shows that social media is increasing the potential for bullying, is increasing the need for ego and attention, and when that is threatened, kids feel even more pressure to lash out to prove how important or tough they are. These are things that we're keeping an eye on that are unique to this point in time that is exacerbating the poverty issue to lead to more violence. And then we have to come together as a community and think through when we have large groups of kids, and whether they're CPS students or charter students or private school students, irrespective of where the kids are coming from, they are our kids. And when we have large groups of our kids congregating together without adult supervision, bad things happen. And what I am concerned about from a city perspective, not just my role as mayor, but just the entire city, is a situation that is a nightmare situation for city leaders, which is any potential for violence to occur between our kids and our public safety officers and officials. That is something that we all want to avoid. That is something that truly is the nightmare scenario. And so the city is at the table in partnership. There is no casting aspersions or criticism or blame. But I think we're at a position now where we need outside the box ideas, because our police officers specifically, this is a solution that requires a tool other than public safety officials, other than police officers. They're there, they'll respond to the calls, they're the first person that goes into challenging situations, but our goal at the city is to not have to send police officers into these situations where they're not necessarily set up for success, and as a result, potentially the kids or the city at large is not set up for success. That's our concern. We're at the table. We want to come up with solutions. One of the solutions has been playing out for the last year. Iris Rowley, who's a consultant on contract with the city, have been leading a bunch of volunteers in Government Square to be on the square to help diffuse situations and help mitigate the unsupervised aspect of it and mitigate the potential of violence. We think that's an interesting model to apply to different other parts of the city. But again, this, in order to solve, is going to require strong partnership with not just CPS leadership, but also with SORTA, with JFS, with so many other systems that are touching our kids. But at the end of the day, I'm the mayor. It's on me to try and solve this in collaboration with all of you. So again, I'll end by saying the reason I'm here is to get your ideas, get your feedback, but also to demonstrate and actually work effectively with your elected leadership and with your professional leadership. City Manager Cheryl Long is also in the room, and we have other city staff in the room as well who will be taking notes. Just a quick timing announcement. This event is very important to me, obviously. This is why I'm here. I'm here from 6 until 7 p.m. At 7, I have to go to another community event to participate. But the entire time I'm here, I'll be listening and taking notes. And then for the pieces that I miss, obviously I'll follow up with the superintendent, the school board, and also any city employees in the room. So thank you so much for having me. Back to Sean.
Thank you to the mayor. We're grateful for your attendance today. We know that you pivoted in order to be here. We appreciate that, and it does mean so much to us. On the next slide, everybody, I'm going to be really transparent with you today and just as factual about things as I can possibly be. It is not to inflame any situation. It is just to be very specific about some of the things that we have been dealing with in Cincinnati Public Schools as a part of this community. So on May the 18th, 2024, it was Withrow's graduation day. And a group of young people decided to return to their campus and outside of the school had a gathering. No big deal, except for gunfire erupted. The result of that gunfire is a young man who had just graduated hours earlier lost his life. Ever since the unfortunate loss of the two Georgia students and educators, we have had a rash of continual social media threats against a variety of schools, elementary and high schools. And I understand this is not just Cincinnati Public Schools, but I'm just telling you, I'm talking about Cincinnati Public Schools right now. And it was happening just about every day, and sometimes multiple times during the day. And it meant that we had to stop what we were doing and prioritize because we take it seriously every single time. And we act on it with great authority every single time. And unfortunately, sometimes kids are making mistakes. They think it's funny, they think it's a joke, they think it's a way for them to get out of school. They were upset because they broke up with their boyfriend. But we take it seriously, and there are consequences. And in partnership with the police department for Cincinnati Public School threats, we have been able to dig into who did this every single time. And unfortunately have to administer some consequences, some of them through the justice system and also through the school system. In addition to that, a few weeks ago, there was a student who was shot outside of Taft High School at dismissal. Some of the kids are outside at dismissal, some of the staff outside at dismissal, others in the building. Can you imagine? What do you do in that situation? What do you do? This was an 8th grade student. You know, a few years ago, I can remember the series about 14-year-olds in Cincinnati. I don't know if anybody else remembers that series. It's very compelling, very scary. We have to continue to address what's happening with our young people. A couple of weeks ago now, a gun was found at Starkville. I think this may have been, I don't want to give a lot of commentary, but the police had a good tip. And guess what? Went directly to the locker in Starkville Stadium where the gun was purported to be, and it was there. Not good. Not good. And we know that the young people have access to guns, easy access to guns. Woodward Career Technical High School was playing at a football game at North College Hill. Gunfire erupted. Terrible. The game had to stop. That was the second time. And I'll call out North College Hill. It could be any stadium, any location, anywhere. The point is, young people can't even have Friday night football. So what we had to do with that is I could not risk anyone potentially getting hurt, knowing these things were happening in our community. We moved games to earlier in the day on Friday. We moved games to Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, just to keep everybody safe. Everybody safe. The student behavior at the transportation hubs and out in the community, specifically Government Square, Oakley Station, the Clifton Business District, the students do have to ride the bus to get to and from school and home. Our goal is to do that safely. Unfortunately, sometimes young people get caught up in foolishness. and they create situations that are not safe for the community. The police department is asking us for our support in trying to lessen what is happening. You heard the mayor mention what Ms. Rowley is doing at Government Square and in other places. On the next slide, you will see what Cincinnati Public Schools has been asked to do. In addition to coming to the table for several meetings that the Assistant City Manager has been leading and others, where there are a number of Cincinnati officials at those tables, including some of the Cincinnati Public School Board members, myself, the Deputy Superintendent, and other members of our team. But we've been asked to place personnel with the police at some of these transit stations. And there have been times where we have done that. We have not been able to do that every day. We have not been able to do that every day. There's been commentary about they come, it's for an hour, 2 hours. So on the next slide, you'll see in cooperation with Cincinnati Police Department, what CPS has been able to do is monitor our students who are transferring downtown and at some of the hubs. This started last year with people working on this and addressing this, and working with Metro Sorta, we have come up this year with specific bus cards for students. So Shauna Murphy's bus card has a particular number attached to Shauna Murphy. So Sorta, Cincinnati Public Schools can monitor where Shauna Murphy is traveling throughout the city as it relates to getting on the city transportation. What we have also done is, if a student is misbehaving because of misusing their bus pass, we have committed ourselves to school discipline as it is necessary, as it is required, including the potential loss of that student's bus card. Now, please keep in mind some unintended consequences with taking a child's bus pass. How are they going to come to school? How are they going to get home? But we've been trying to work on that. In addition to that, we have addressed when the Cincinnati Police Department gives us arrests by our children, if it is connected to their misuse of this Metro bus pass, we deal with that. We deal with that. But some of the arrests that have come to me are not really directly related to that, and so we have to continue conversations in that area. On the next slide, we borrowed this. The city actually began this work. The mayor also shared with you some of the conversations they're having around gun violence, where kids are getting guns, through a partnership with the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Took a look at where and what are the causes for students to be, young people to be attracted to guns in terms of how they handle or go through their day-to-day. I'm not going to read all of this. I know it can be really challenging to see from where you are, but again, this is work from the city in conjunction and partnership with Children's Hospital. So this is a root cause of gun violence mind map, and it talks about several pillars: one systematic, one mental health, one media and cultural influences, family and community, individual factors, and lack of safe spaces. And the mayor mentioned young people who are often not supervised at these bus stations, bus hubs. We acknowledge that, and we also say we're all in this together. We are only going to be able to find a solution, work through a solution, and agree to the solution if we continue to come to the table until we collectively solve the concern. So what I also want to share with you on the next page are some of the things that Cincinnati Public Schools does for the well-being of our children. So you see, we feed our young people breakfast and lunch every day. Every day. Every day. We also provide after-school snacks for those young people who are participating in after-school programming. We also provide summertime meals for those students who need those meals, and you see the cost there. Our board has committed to having a school social worker in every school. There was a period of time when I was the principal at Woodward Career Technical High School, I had a school social worker one day out the week. One day. But our school board recognized, no, we need to make an investment in this area, and so we have a school social worker at every school in Cincinnati Public Schools, 65 buildings. In addition to that, a few years ago, we recognized that there is a problem with chronic absenteeism. We recognize that the state has set a particular standard looking at the hours kids miss of school, not days. When I was in school, you missed a day, okay, absent 2 days, it might be on my report card with S's, O's, and N's. I mean, it ends, but it might be on the report card. That we count hours, so we're begging families, if you happen to take your child to a doctor's appointment, it's a well check, and you can bring them to school at lunchtime, bring them. We need them. All of that plays in the chronic absenteeism rate. It's not just, and it only takes 3 days. 3 days to be considered chronically absent in Ohio. So when you look at that and you say, oh, Cincinnati Public Schools, other public schools, they have a big problem with this. It's a problem. But people need to be educated on how the state is now calculating that. Positive behavior intervention supports, a huge investment there. So we have gone through training around mental health for our children. We are working with our school social workers, our counselors, our psychologists on restorative practices, because we don't want to simply suspend. We want to be able to restore kids to their classrooms, to their schools, sooner as opposed to later. School counselors, there was a time we didn't have school counselors. Now we, I believe, are above the average threshold for counseling services, academic instructional counseling services in our school. Matter of fact, the board a few years ago added graduation counselors in an effort to increase our graduation grades. Security assistants in our buildings, attendance clerks, and more. I'm sure I left things off of this list. I just want you to have some idea of the type of investment and wraparound services Cincinnati Public Schools is committed to for our children. So with that, I do want to leave the majority of the time to have conversation, open dialogue. We'll do this as orderly as possible. I thought about having specific questions for people to answer, but I think there'll be much more value to be able to go around the room, hear your idea, and keep in mind the goal tonight is to be able to walk away with 1 or 2 things that we can do as a community. 1 or 2, all right? Every idea is a good idea, all right? But I also think about what is realistic in terms of our ability to get done. I do want to pause before we begin the dialogue and acknowledge board member Mapp in the room, if you don't mind standing for people to see you. And so if you do want to speak, I do need to give you the microphone so that you can be heard, because this is being streamed as well, and we want everybody to hear all the voices in the room. So we're looking for ideas. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm coming here. I'm coming to you, and then I'm walking back up here to get closer.
Okay, my name is Tracy Ward.
Don't mind standing. Well, it's a big room, a lot of people. We want to make sure you're heard.
My name is Tracy Ward. I am a CPS alum, a parent of CPS, a member of the LSDMC. I've been on LSDMC for the last 3 years. Vice president of Rosemont Community Council. And then I also have my own nonprofit that is working with CPS this year, specifically Woodward School. So, one of the things that I've noticed over this past year and just trying to work with Woodward is I think that, I know as a parent, there's a part of exhaustion and lack of communication that's happening because of everything that's happening. You try to reach out to people, you're not getting a response. And then what you think you would like to get a response back, there's none happening. And so I think that can only be attributed to a level of exhaustion and burnout. Because I don't think it's that the staff and students and parents don't care. But to give you an example, I have a very small child who's very small for his age. And there was a threat made to him at his school. over the past year. They called the parent of the child who made the threat, didn't get the parent, called the grandparent. They didn't call me. Even though I'm a member of the LSDMC and they know me very well, they didn't call me. The threat was that they were going to do something to my child and they were being dismissed at the time that the threat was made. So, him being a child that walks home, the threat was that they were going to jump him. And they were already extremely larger than my child. No one called me. The kids made good on the threat. The next day, my child went home with a concussion. So, a lapse of communication, right? If you were going to call the other child's parent, call me too. Because I could have picked him, like, it could have been worse. Something could have happened to him after school. I could have picked him up. And then, in relation to my nonprofit, I've been trying to work specifically with Woodward over the past year. And it was very hard to get someone to, like, listen to the fact, I've got $10,000 for your school. And then up to $5,000 for every student that wants to participate in this, and I want 10 of your students. Like, I led with the fact there is money in this, there is training in this, there is free mental health care, and then there's the fact that there is a track for specifically for students who would go into the restorative justice track, and a track for students who are interested in community building. And I could not get in front of students until the end of last year. Well, till May of this year. And so this fellowship was supposed to start last year. I'd already secured all the funding. Thank you to the City of Cincinnati, Keep Cincinnati Beautiful, Safe and Clean grant. Thank you to Boots on the Ground. Thank you to Children's Hospital, who's contributed, and thank you to the Archdiocese of Cincinnati Catholic Human Development Fund. This program is completely funded. What it didn't have was students. And it didn't have students because I couldn't get in touch with the people who are directly in front of the students to get in front of them. But now, we do have orientation that is going to be October 13th, and I invite everybody in this room to come and meet the fellows that will specifically be working at Woodward. But just this past year, that's what I'm noticing. I can only attribute it, like I said, to being the level of exhaustion and burnout from everybody involved, but the lack of communication, it causes difficulty for parents to be involved and know what's going on with their children. It causes difficulty for partners to work with you all, to do what we want to do and to help them. And so if I'm feeling that as a partner and as a parent, I can only imagine what the children are feeling when they're not heard.
Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate you sharing. We do have someone taking notes. I just want everyone to know that. And so we'll keep the mic going. We are looking for solutions to what we're experiencing, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Landry White. I'm a local businessman, and I've been a football coach in this town for about 18 years. I've been at different schools from St. John's and Purcell Marion, when things were nice in the 90s, to Taft High School and Taft High School North, also known as North College Hill. We keep asking a question that we know the answer to. What's wrong with our kids? What's wrong with our kids is the people they live with. That's what's wrong with our kids. I started football practice on Monday to prepare for a game on Friday. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are useless because I have to repair the brain of the child that's been hanging out with homeboys, which may be a mother's boyfriend that's a loser, or an uncle that's a loser. And this is what these kids are being surrounded by. When they leave school, it's over. It's just like a jungle mentality takes place. And until we can educate the parents who allow their kids to watch stupid, useless, mindless shows like Love and Hip Hop and things of that nature. You know, styles come and go, but have you noticed one style that will not leave? Why are your pants still hanging off your butt? 25 years later, pants still hanging off their butt. They don't want that style to leave. Most of our kids' problem is perpetuated through the television. They watch these shows and they lie to them about what reality is. They see Cardi B's and other celebrities, and they want to emulate this stupidity. And they do. They do. Nobody in here has got their pants hanging off their butt. Nobody. But look how many parents are here. I see more men in here right now than I see at a high school football game at North College Hill in 6 games. Men need to step up. Men need to step up. Every time I see somebody with a microphone, it's a female. Right down to this meeting. We got to take the mic. Mom is great for home. But the man handles the streets. And life is a street. Life is a street. It's not wholesome. We're too wholesome with these kids. They don't respect you. That's why they do what they do. I worked at a school, and I won't say which one, but the head coach was the nicest guy on the planet. Guess what? The kids did not respect him. And they told him, we don't do what he says because he ain't going to do nothing. We got judges right now that we send kids to jail, and she lets them walk right out the door. And you know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. If you don't punish, what's the consequence? What's the consequence? You see it in your grocery stores, you keep paying the price, they keep raising the price. Why should they lower it? You're not making them lower it.
So I don't want to interrupt anybody, but I do want to make sure we have time for anybody.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I appreciate
I
you.
apologize.
No need to
For the
apologize.
opportunity. I do also know the gun problem, you had a circle there that said why things were going the way they were. You forgot to leave the governor who signed off on allowing people with an IQ lower than the caliber of gun that they carry. Okay? The governor did that. And the police hate it. They can't tell you, but they hate that.
Thank you, sir.
Makes their job hard.
And family, just a reminder, I need your help. And we don't have a lot of time. We need your help in the solutions.
Solutions.
Thank you for calling out what needs to be called out, but I need your help with solutions, please. Go ahead, Dr. Smith. And let's do 2 minutes so that we can get to this.
I'll be brief, very brief. So my name is Alexis Kid-Zafer. I'm with Seven Hills Neighborhood House in the West End. We have an after-school program there. One of the things that would be helpful for us is actually having access to files, whether Power School. Parents, we used to get a form that parents can sign off and give us access to talking directly to the schools and teachers. That has gone away. We've talked to many people about how can we get access directly to teachers so we don't have to go through the middleman. Parents will often sign off on anything for us to get permission. We just need that permission again. That's no longer available, so that we can help and find out where they're at in school, where their attendance is. You have people that care about them in the community that are working with them, but we need that help from you for that partnership. Thank you. You have some.
Okay, let's get, the mayor has a question.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just on that specific solution point, I have also heard that it's challenging to get mental health professionals to support CPS, not because they don't want to be supported, but because it requires a parent to sign off for a non-CPS counselor or support system. And it's been challenging to get parents sign off. So just a follow-up to your request, if we were able to more effectively empower parents to sign off on that support or sign off on that access, do you think they would sign off? And if not, what would we need to do to actually encourage them to sign off?
So what we'll do is Dr. Smith has a microphone in the back. We can also utilize this if you don't mind standing, if you want. If not, we can start a line if you're closer to this microphone.
And we've never had a problem. When that form existed, we never had a problem with parents signing off on it, giving us permission to have access to talk to teachers directly, to get their grades, to get them into counseling. It's just a matter of getting that permission back through CPS once again, that CPS used to grant us. Thank you.
Okay, you going one up there now?
Yes.
Do one up here, then one back here?
Yes, ma'am.
I got my watch set. I got 2 minutes.
I won't take too much of your time.
All right.
My name is Mr. Gerald. I've been working with youth for over 39 years. Matter of fact, one of my first youth that I mentored to is Chucky Boyd.
Jags board. It's Chuck.
Chuck and me. I was his coach and mentor. We've been working real diligently to understand what our problem in Cincinnati is. I talked to the mayor, I talked to the city manager. We have a program to answer that question, a parent engagement director right there. We meet with a kid, the mentor meets with the kid, the parent engagement meets with the parent. Our parents need help on their mental health. This new program works with a mental health addiction. We have therapists, we have clinical therapists, qualified mental health specialists, yes ma'am, and therapeutic behavior. Our kids have a behavior problem. And he has some valid points, but the most important part is there's no support for our boys or girls. My program don't work in the school, because when that bell rings, that's a whole new world out there. I even brought my kids with me today. Their voice needs to be heard. We have all these town hall meetings, but we haven't talked to the kids.
Yes, say that.
In the house, in the school, in 2020, in Promise Center. And our program also goes inside the prison for reentry. Those kids who go inside the prison, they lost till they come out. We going in. The Promise Center, we going in. Because when they go there, there's nothing being done. They're sitting around eating chips and playing. So when they come back, that behavior got them there, they ain't address, we address that behavior. It's all about the behavior, but it's all about the support of the parent and the kid. They're going through things. It ain't social media, it's the kids. It ain't the guns, it's the kids. I don't want to blame something that ain't true. Gun don't shoot itself. I mean, social media don't cut on. Our kids do that.
All right, we have, all right, thank you.
This program again, I'm sorry.
Charity Health Service and partnership with.
All right, we got one back here.
Yeah, you said it's the name of the program, I wanna make sure we're clear, one more time.
Mentors of Omega, but now partner with Jade Healthcare Service because it's a clinical part of our program that we never had before.
Okay, thank you. Here, flyer. Thank you. A member of my team can get a flyer. All right, we're going to the back of the room.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andozi Imanfor. We got a program, Purpose and Direction Advocate Service, also do collaborative work with Irish Rowley as an advocate downtown. I feel that the solution could be that we address the elephant in the room, that everybody be transparent with the resources and the help that they have, instead of blaming and pointing fingers. I believe after this meeting, we need to deal with the parents and the students. They need to be here to talk about safety and behavior. We can't just keep pointing fingers and throwing fancy names to stress economic stressors. We can't do that. I feel that to move forward, the kids need to be here with their parents, and the real stockholders that got the resources to make things effective. We need to have effective strategies, effective agreements, instead of doing all this talking and this finger pointing. We need to move away from blaming it, learn how to unify and collab, and create solutions. You can't create solutions when everybody's just yelling out things, getting emotional with their feelings. These are our kids and they hurting, and the parents are hurting too. They didn't have a playbook. When we grew up, we didn't have to go past our door for a role model. Unfortunately, these kids have to go past their door. The other thing is that gang violence is alive in Cincinnati, and these kids are drafted into gang culture. And we have to wake up and stop and really address it and stop acting like it ain't there. Because if kids want to be recognized and belong, if they can't be recognized and belong in their home, the streets is where it's going to happen.
Good evening. Jude Johnson, City of Cincinnati Human Resources Department Career Pathways Program. Just want to give some summer youth and employment opportunities. Ages 14 to 18, in January of 2025, we'll be announcing our Youth to Work Summer Youth Program. Up under that, we have fire cadets, police cadets, CRC placements, and general placements in some of the departments. Again, 14 to 18, and it's an 8-week program. Also lifeguards, 15 years of age and up, and then we could also use teachers as well. For adults, 18 and up, we have municipal worker through our Cincinnati Park Board, our Cincinnati Recreation Commission, and the Public Services Department. We're talking about putting a career in the hands of young adults. When we talk about a career, we're talking about starting off in the mid-40s with all the benefits, including Public Employees Assistance Program, PEAP. So if they need counseling, 26 sessions at no cost, 11 paid holidays, pension, the whole nine. When we talk about young adults, recreation specialists, 18 and up, they are placed in the recreation centers, and that gives them an opportunity to make permanent. Also in 2025, for those individuals that want a career in firefighting, we're going to be offering the fire recruit exam. You can be 17 years of age and sit for the exam, as long as you're 18 years of age and older with a driver's license at the time of appointment, okay? Also, we have created career pathways overview of the city. Ms. Chrisman from Gamble High School, she's taken advantage of that. We will be hosting a group of students from Gamble on October 14th. I'm also working with Ms. LaRonda Thomas of CPS to get an overview of the city schedule. Also, Ms. Mildred Kennedy from Hughes has already opened up the doors and said, come on in and talk to us about that. And also today, emails have gone out to all the Cincinnati Public High School with this information, so please look for it.
Thank you.
Also say that the career pathways came as a result to youth violence. Mr. Mayor, I want to give your city manager credit.
Yes.
She created the career pathways to address youth violence in the city.
Exactly, it's a brainchild of Mayor Pureval and City Manager Cheryl Long. So thank you.
We got one
So,
back.
so real quick, Mr. Good, I definitely, I want to talk to you about some of the summer youth employment, but I also want to work with you more holistically about getting the kids to you now. So let me help you facilitate that instead of one school at a time. Is that okay? All right, thank you for being here. Dr. Smith.
Hello, my name is Carmen Pitts. I have two children. I'm a parent. I have two children that attend CPS. I have one at Aiken, a sophomore. I have a junior that's at Taft, and one of my children is actually the lead defensive player in CPS district right now. I have the pleasure of attending all of the football games, and actually attended the one with Mount Healthy and Taft, where there were no children that were allowed. I was with my mother, and the comment she made was that she missed the kids. For me, it was a little too soon, although I feel like it is sad that they couldn't be there, but I also felt a sense of peace, knowing that there wasn't anything that was gonna take place. So my problem is that after the football games down at Taft, the parents are pushed outside of the gate, which means that we have to stand on the corner, which is not safe. We know that that corner is not safe. I've had my child to tell me in certain areas that I parked to never park there again because this is like right in the heart of everything. So I'm asking if we can get some type of system going on to where the parents and guardians are allowed to wait for their players inside of the gate, you know, safely, and escort their players to the car instead of pushing us outside of the gate and making us wait on the corner. I appreciate the presence of the officers down there, and I also appreciate the presence of Black officers. But I would ask our community to keep in mind how we engage each other. There were a lot of officers that were being really nasty. I do have recordings and pictures of this. I have badge numbers. One of the officers proceeded to say to one of the parents, do you have a gun if something happens, and what are you gonna do to protect your child? I think that is the worst thing that you can ask a parent, what are they gonna do? And this parent responded and said, I will take a bullet for mine, and I will jump in front of them if any shooting. And she asked her, would you do the same? And the officer was quiet. So just for proposed solution, if we can, I don't know how it works as far as, you know, the team's presence at the games, and if that's something that you all are thinking about, having guardians, you know, accompany them. But just for the parents and the players' safety, if we are allowed to wait inside the gate for our players to come out after they're getting dressed and escort them safely to their cars, to our cars.
All right. Up in the front.
Yes, how you doing? My name is D'Angelo Simmons. I'm the founder of
I'm sorry, go ahead.
My name is D'Angelo Simmons. I'm the founder of 365 Never Ending Fight. I keep my pulse to the streets, right? I work through Wind. I was born and raised in Wind Terrace. Grew up with a single parent. My father was void and void. I grew up where I deal with adversity on the regular, right? So I turned adversity into a business. So I have a curriculum called Tools You Need to Navigate Adversity, right? What I see today is these kids do not know how to deal with adversity, right? They don't know how to express their emotions, conflict resolution, making decisions. So what I do, I've been working inside the Lighthouse for 3 years. I am currently over in Bethany House as well, where I teach my curriculum inside Bethany House. I volunteer at 2020, right? So what I see is, I'm gonna tell you a story about a young guy I met back in July, inside 2020. He committed, I asked him, I said, what do you wanna do better or change about yourself or enhance about yourself? You wanna learn how to tell his peers no. The child get out. He found himself back in jail 2 weeks ago. He never learned how to say no. He got caught in a car with some other kids who did a crime. But what I understand is these kids don't know how to deal with, don't have morals, values, and principles, right? These are things that you learn from your father and your parent from the gate, from growing up. So what I see the issue is we have to teach them about morals, values, because that's your base of making decisions, right? So if you don't have morals or values, you are easy to be manipulated and taken advantage of. So tools you need to navigate adversity, like I said, I'm in Bethany House as we speak. I'm trying to get inside Cincinnati Public School as we speak. And that's what I believe that we need to really get back to the parenting. And that's what I see that we need to do. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Deputy?
I'm timing them, so people in the front, when you see my hand up, that means you have 5 seconds left. We want solutions. How does that work together? You have one in the back? I do, she's ready.
Hi, I am Laura Sullivan. I'm a Northside resident. I have a Parker Woods student and a recent graduate from Withrow in Aiken. I run an organization called Just Choice, and within that program, we have supports for parents, and hearing people talk about parents need supports, blaming parents. I don't think we need to blame parents. I think we need to recognize that parents need supports, both economic and relational, and we offer that. So we have seen success with kids who were participating in violence to survive when they are part of our program and when they have safe and stable housing and they have healthy relationships along with connections to their family, they can step away from that. We've seen that happen. And to do that work, we need volunteers. We need people who are willing to donate money to that, but who are also willing to open their home and willingly let kids that aren't biologically yours live with you, because kids need community, parents need community. When you do that, you're supporting the child, the student, and the parent. So if anyone wants to talk about that, I am happy to do that. I'll be here afterwards. Our office is in Northside, and we need volunteers. We need people who are willing to open their home and be that support that both parents and kids need.
Solution, that was a solution, yes.
I just wanna, I can't put my eyes on our parent champion, Ms. LaRonda Thomas.
She right here.
I need her to stand. So if you have something really parent-oriented, really parent-focused, Ms. LaRonda Thomas is the district-wide parent champion, and she works with all of the parent organizations in our buildings. If you slide your card to her, that would be extremely helpful. Then I would also like to ask Mr. Sierra Badgett. Thank you. Mr. Badgett is the director of our school community partnership team. He is responsible for our community learning center model and our resource coordinators. So if you can't get to the busy principal, we have resource coordinators in our building. If you have programs, they would be a wonderful person to get to know. Are there any resource coordinators in the room at this point? Okay.
Yes, lots of them.
Thank you, resource coordinators. I'm telling you, it's a huge investment on part of our school district. I should have had that dollar amount on our slide, but I didn't. But I will tell you, it's a lifesaver in a schoolhouse. So it's a lifesaver in a schoolhouse. All right, so just so you can kind of eyeball who to get to, and I will say this, we won't be able to do everybody who wants to partner right away, but we definitely will commit to working on it. There is a process. There is a vetting system. I just want to be upfront and transparent with you. If you're interested in partnering, we'd love to have the conversation. All right, here we go. Who's next? Come on.
You got it, man. I just want to talk about the misunderstanding with the kids and the adults, because some adults can't understand us kids and we can understand each other. And you were trying to tell adults something, they'll look at you like you crazy or you don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on. Then when it actually happened, everybody looking at me like I'm right. It's like at the Taft High School situation. I was there at the game on Monday. The little boy came up to the game, pointed the gun at everybody right there at the game. He told us to get out the way. I tried to tell the adults, and nobody listened to me. But then that following week, he got shot, and then everybody just come up to me like, you know who he is? I'm just not talking no more because it's like, I try to tell y'all, and none of y'all understand nothing about what I was saying. And then it's like, when you try to talk to your parent, they will not try to listen to you because they feel as if a child is always wrong. And I feel like some adults feel as if the kids aren't supposed to be heard as much as they're supposed to be heard. Some adults expect kids to listen to what they got to say and expect us kids not to say nothing, which I feel as if our word matters too. And our feelings matter too. And another thing, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Jarrell for helping me continue on with my life, because I didn't care about life. I'm just going to be honest. I gave up on life. But if it was for him, I wouldn't even be here right now. He like a father to me. He said I act like his daughter, but he's my son.
What grade are you in? What grade?
11th grade.
11th grade.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I was I yield to the young man.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's yield. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the 1 minute to get yourself together. All right.
Oh, I've got a time. That's a hard act to follow. That was very brave and really eloquent, so thanks for doing that. And thanks for everyone being here, and Superintendent and the Mayor and the Board of Education for gathering us, because that's the first way that we can have solutions, is to talk openly and be transparent. I wanted to talk about the Mayor's question about mental health. So we do have mental health partnerships with community mental health at every school, CPS school, and they're integrated. And areas, though, of opportunity for solutions, we have families that have private insurance or no insurance, and it's very difficult to figure out how to pay for that. And so I think if we could collaborate together and figure out how to meet that gap, that would be helpful. Another is we don't have enough Spanish-speaking bilingual therapists, and we have a growing Latino population, and we need to meet their needs as well. And so I think we need to get together and figure out how to meet that need. And then lastly, I think parents do need more help, and they may need mental health resources. I think a solution could be that our mental health, we have a network that maybe we could start bringing in adult mental health partners that could just be available to provide access. I think those are some solutions in mental health. But there are a lot of partners with CPS that are working really hard and bringing resources together. So thanks.
All right.
There's a lot of people here, my bad. Alright, so my name is Toya Embry. I am in the 12th grade, so last year, thank God for that. And I go to Tam High School. So one thing I would like to talk about is how my friend was saying how kids are very misunderstood. Like, I'll give you an example. Last year, I had this friend, we gonna call him Jay, because he's in some trouble right now. So we gonna call him Jay. So last year, he's a smart kid. He do sports, get good grades, but like the only thing was, he was misunderstood. And like, he could be going through stuff out of school, but he not gonna bring that in school. So now he's in something, and shout out to Mr. J, Mr. Badgett, and Mr. Abtab. I've been with Mr. Abtab over the summer, trying to get a program started for like younger kids. when I do get it started, it's gonna be called Here to Help. It's gonna be seniors and juniors pairing up with 7th and 8th graders, helping them with like mental health and getting them into high school. So I feel like we just gotta start with them young, and then after we get them young, they're gonna be more than, I guess, purified enough to where they're, where they're to the point where they don't have to always keep looking over their shoulder or just at the right place or at the right time. Because I'm a kid that come from all of that. Like, I always have to make sure I look over my shoulder. I got younger siblings that I fear for. Like, it just be crazy how the world is and how much be going on. So I'm very cautious with what's going on in my school and how I can help like the younger kids. Shout out Mr. Badgett.
Mr. Badger, our Director of School Community Partnerships, was the former principal at Taft High School. We have a call online. I guess it's not caller. I sound like Phil Donahue, huh? Not a caller. Someone online with a comment that Rob's going to read to us.
This is Aubrey Drummonds. One thing that may be helpful is to teach parents how to help our children deal with their issues. This is a difficult time, then spare the rod generation, and most of us were raised in. The problems are difficult for our children in regard to technology, access, media, and education. We have to be able to connect in order to lead. Maybe a parent or mentor lead organization in each school similar to Neighborhood Watches, but more like Parent Watch. For example, at Fairview, it would be a Falcon Watch. Just a thought.
That's a great thought. That's a great thought. Thank you. Don't lose that message for me, Rob. All right, Deputy? And we're down to like less than 30 minutes, family, so.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Dr. Carolyn Bates. I represent My Kids. We're a nonprofit. We work with children in the Cincinnati public school system that are experiencing homelessness. They say 4,000, but I truly believe they're more. They're just under the radar. I see my resource coordinators right here. We have partnered with 8 schools, CPS schools, and basically what we do, we have a back to school drive in August. Is it still on? Okay. We collected over 11,000 items, and Woodward is our base where we have our back to school drive. This coming December the 15th at Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park, we'll have our 12th annual toy drive. Between 2013 and this last year, we have accumulated close to 30,000 items. Basically what we do, we work with each resource coordinator, these 8 schools. We've got Woodward, Hughes, Rockdale, South Avondale, North Avondale, Evanston, Hill, and Douglas. So what we do, we work with these resource coordinators. They know specifically the children in that school that are experiencing homelessness. It blew my mind when the principal at Woodward, Principal Yates, told me how many kids are experiencing homelessness. No permanent address, no permanent phone number. That's a disgrace. We can do something with that. That's what My Kids is doing. It's in my heart. God has put it in my heart to help these kids, and I'm praying every morning for all these students throughout CPS, because we know who we're fighting, but we got the victory.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Iris Rowley, and I must do this as well. I'm a CPS grad, children, husband. We all graduated from Cincinnati Public Schools and do a lot with Cincinnati Public Schools and kids, just period, especially when they look like me. But I want to offer up, if you want to come and join us on Government Square, Oakley Station, Western Hills, and/or North Side, because we have to travel now. Please let us know, because there's some training that we do before we allow folks to just walk up and touch our children. And that should be for everybody. Everybody isn't a child person, so if you're not that person, please don't volunteer, because we don't need to re-traumatize. And Superintendent Murphy, when we do have these conversations, oftentimes we always ask the children be in the room, and more specifically Black children. We need to be mindful of re-traumatizing children. We need to be mindful that we don't put them in the space where they have to be the ones to come up with the solution. They should be able to be children. I wanted to say something about this beautiful Black man standing behind me. He's 45 years old, and his program, 365 Never Ending Fight, is because this Black man has sickle cell. I did not know that he did all of what he just said today, because I met him on the sickle cell level, which needs a tremendous amount of research and help in dealing with children inside of the district who have sickle cell. So get with Mr. D'Angelo on that. The other thing that I wanted to offer up, we are not just looking at what's going on at Government Square, because we all know what's going on in our town. Government Square is just a microcosm of that. But we're actually working on reimagining CCY. We've been studying what had happened for 57 years in our town, and every summer we come back to the table and say, what happened? Let's make it happen. So if you want to engage and help us build that problem-solving tool, please. CCY was a standalone institution that took care of our children, whether it was education or jobs, for 57 years. At its height, it took care of 8,000 kids. I was one, my husband was a rent-a-kid. We all came through there. Everybody, you see everybody raising their hands. So if it could work then, guess what? It could work now. We're also working on 100 Black women becoming community health workers to legally enter into our families' homes. We are watching children being arrested for the first time. We need to get with them now to figure that out. And the legal way to do that is through a medical apparatus. So again, if you want to come and join us on Government Square, please. See Drew is in the back. Brother Z, raise your hand. Please give them your number so we can get you some problem solving training before you talk and interact with our children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, I'm really nervous to talk so hard to read, but which is weird because I teach all day. So, my name is Meredith Potter, and I've taught in almost every single CPS school during the day and after school. I can't get enough because I love our babies. They are funny, they are smart, they're beautiful, and our staff.
You can't hold the bottom of the mic. You can't hold the bottom of the mic. It's the antenna. There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. But solutions, I'll be really quick. I feel like the first solution starts with every person in this room. We need to role model respect for one another. Like, that is so huge. You guys, we think the kids aren't looking, but they are. And the way that we treat each other and respond to one another, we don't have to agree, but we need to listen and be respectful to one another. I feel like that's a huge point. Kids are always saying that to me. Like, adults are always talking about, respect, but they're not giving it back. So I feel like if we all just treat each other with love and respect and listen, I think that will help. Secondly, the parents is a very, very difficult piece, and I feel like there's a lot of substance abuse and stuff like that in poverty. And I feel like we need to make more online classes for parents that they can log in, and then also like hold them accountable and cheer them on. I've spoken with a lot of parents. They feel really judged when they come in school, and they're nervous. And I feel like if we give them love and understanding, that's like a step. I'm not saying that's the whole solution. Like, it's a process, right? Thirdly, I feel like we have so many great things in place, but like the great things need to stay and not go every other year when the money goes. So sustainability is a huge issue, especially when you're writing grants and living on grants. But anyway, I also wanted to say I'm so happy that Ms. Murphy is at the helm, because one of the best principals I've ever worked with, who loves our babies. We are great people, so I hope we can love each other and role model that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allie Goodman. I have 3 kids in the district. I have a junior at SCPA, and a 7th grader at Walnut, and a 2nd grader at Pleasant Ridge Montessori. And what's near and dear to my heart is actually our very youngest students. I'm a preschool teacher. I've been teaching preschool for 20 years. And as I think some of these conversations are going, we want our teenagers to be able to turn into the adults. But I think we need our preschoolers to also be able to turn into the really great teenagers that we need. Yes. So I know ABCs and 1, 2, 3s are a really important part of preschool, but I also think making decisions and problem solving is the biggest part of preschool, and learning how to make good decisions happens from making decisions. So if we can really even start younger and start allowing those kids to make decisions and to go through problem solving and negotiating, and if we can really be good models for our youngest students as they grow. I think we'll start to get better teenagers who can problem solve. And then the second thing I wanted to say as a solution, I've been a part of a lot of conversations as far as the ad hoc, and I'm wondering if there's a point where the size of the school building, at some point, there's like an optimal, we can reach all the kids who are in this building, because there is a size piece, and I'm a part of a school that's really, really big, and we did expand, and the breathing room that it gave at PRM is great, but one resource coordinator is still working with now over 700 students, and where do we hit the optimal size of an elementary school? My guess is it's not 750 students. My guess is it's a lot smaller than that. So how do we work through, and I know your team is doing that, I know some of these wonderful board members have heard me talk previous to tonight, but I'm wondering if that's a solution in all of this too, is having right-sized school buildings where we have enough adults and our ratios make sense to really benefit all of the kids that are in the building. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amanda Bennett. I've got 4 kids, 3 at PRM and 1 at Spencer Center. And I've got 2 possible solutions to chew on. Number 1 is, I do think we need to do a lot more work on screening for weapons. We know how to get on a plane without a gun. Why can't we get into a school without a gun? The technology is out there. We know it's not if, it's just when. When is the next time a kid's gonna come to school with a gun? It's going to happen. Number 2, you gotta vote. You gotta vote for gun sense candidates. We're not talking about the guns. It's not just the guns, but it is also the guns. So please, please, please don't forget to come out and vote for gun sense candidates. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sue Bills. I'm a proud graduate of CPS, as are my children. Proud retired CPS teacher of 34 years. What works? I work with the Priceless Safety Community Action Team. We meet monthly with community, with families, with teachers, with SROs, with police. We talk about our concerns. We have community members come. We have kids. We can't get enough of the kids' voices. They have to come and talk. What works? We've been doing a summer youth program for 14 years. We had 11 kids work with us this summer. 10 of 11 were CPS kids. We clean vacant lots, we cut grass, we got money through the Keep Us Inside Beautiful program along with the city Boots on the Ground to reduce gun violence in Price Hill. We found a gun for the first time in 14 years when we were cleaning. Our kids come to us with their problems. We brought them backpacks, we got them school supplies. When they need clothes, our advocates across the city have been doing this. I can't say enough about Brothers Inc. and the Sheriff's Group that's been meeting monthly. If you want to talk with other advocates in the city, come the last Tuesday of the month. I see many familiar faces out here. Jude Johnson, I can't say enough for you, what you've done for our city kids coming in and offering these jobs. And you personally came into my school town. I can't say enough about those 2 young people that just spoke, who happen to be my former students. My kids came to me. They wanted to do a gun violence prevention video. They did it 2 years ago. And these kids are still involved. They want hope. They want job opportunities, and they want a violence-free neighborhood. And they want to be safe.
They want to be fed. We just have one more, Superintendent, but I have one more too. Okay.
Well, good evening. So
My name is Marjorie.
Come a little closer.
So my name is Marjorie Bazin. I am LSDMC chair for Bond Hill.
Come a little closer.
Also, PTO member at Bond Hill. I am a career specialist at Aiken Newton.
Come closer.
Hello.
Come closer.
I'm gonna hold it for you. You get weird.
Okay, so again, I'm also class 5 of school board school and a mother of 6. 2 of them CPS graduates and 4 that are in CPS. My solution, I hear a bunch of great solutions in here. It is a small solution, a small step, but I think it's also a great start. I think that as parents, we need to intervene. As staff, we need to intervene. We need to build relationships. I think it's important that when my kids come into 2247 at Aiken, all of them are my babies. I'm a parent, I'm the aunt, I'm the grandmother, I'm the cousin, I'm every single thing that they need. I don't know what's going on at home, but I know when they come in my classroom, I'm that parent, okay? I also think it's important that when they go home, that you're talking to those kids, making sure that you build relationships with your teachers, with your staff. My kids are they are thriving through CPS because I know that when I call Mr. Henry at Von Hill, that he is gonna take care of them. You know your kids don't listen, right? Mine don't listen to me, but I know if I call Mr. Henry, they might listen to Mr. Henry. So I make sure that, again, I'm building relationships with my teachers, I'm interviewing, I'm talking to every single one of the kids. My kids like to say, Mom, you don't even know that child. I don't care. I'm gonna talk to them anyway, because if it means that I have to put on that extra hat, I'm interning, by the way, at CPS. So if I'm putting on a 5th hat and I'm losing a little bit of extra sleep, I know that my babies left that school safe and I'm leaving school safe.
Dr. Smith, this is the last statement from Iris Rowley. Carmen Gaines, if you're still in the room and you have a complaint against Cincinnati Police, please, there is an entity where you can go. It's called the Citizens Complaint Authority, and you can see me. Favorable comments or complaints. That's what the collaborative agreement gave you, and we will be celebrating 25 years of that work next year.
We got one last, ma'am. I'm gonna ask Ms. Barbara Bell to start making her way as well.
I don't know what y'all want.
How's everybody doing tonight? You guys are beautiful. I'm Ashley, and I have a he's in first grade. You would kill me if I said kindergarten. First grade at Fairview, and you all, this is a beautiful room. And I think that I'm full, and I want everybody to take from this that every piece of the puzzle matters. And every little sacrifice that we do matters. And so you may think that your idea is small, but it's needed. And you may think that your sacrifice of dropping your kid's friend off is small, but it's needed. And so I think one of the things that we have to do is make that little sacrifice so that the whole sees growth. And if your goal is for your child to grow, then your goal should be for your neighbor's child to grow. And so a lot of us need to get out of the way of that growth, but a lot of us need to step up and evaluate what we're doing to make an impact. So I think that this room is beautiful for that. There needs to be another one where we have more parents, more children, like God said, right? Because we do need to hear them, and they do need to feel like they have a safe space to come. So I know that that is in the works. I'm excited to be here and to listen to all the ideas and the solutions. And I think that we all need to be more solution-oriented as well in our conversation. All right? Let's not worry about the past. Let's figure out what we're doing now, and let's make those steps to move forward. Small steps, like a brick a day, and we'll look up and we'll see buildings. Understand? Thank you, guys.
Don't play, that's my daughter.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Well said. Well said. Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Bell. I'm with Children's Hospital. So excited to be here. So excited to partner with so many of you in the room. I'm just going to share some of the partnership and alignment that's taking place right now. I know the city shared earlier, CPS shared about the city's work that we have worked alongside, but it is the city's work with the mind map and everything that's taking place.
I released that to the city at all, so y'all first to see it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, Ms. Iris. And so it is the city's work, and we're grateful to be a part. What I will say with Children's is we partner with a lot of organizations in the room, and we're also partnering now with Interim Superintendent Murphy, and we're currently in talks about supporting, of course, the Deputy Smith, Dr. Smith. We're in partnership now talking about roles that are needed within CPS, and so there are current talks about a family and community resource manager. The title is not finalized yet, the ink is not dried on it, but I just wanted to share that your interim superintendent and your deputy has been considering what is needed for this district. And so we're grateful to be a part and to support that. Once everything is finalized and the talks are finalized, then we'll roll out and share following with CPS. But we're grateful to be a part and at the table. Children's is number one because they're the best at getting better. They're very innovative, very forward thinking, and they put children first. So we're grateful to be here, grateful to partner, and grateful for all the work that you all are doing in this room, from organizations to partnerships to parents to stakeholders, and of course former resource coordinators, because I'm a former resource coordinator as well. So I know the work and the effort that you do. Thank you all for having us here, and if you'd like to partner and connect, feel free to see me.
So I have 6 10 minutes left, and I definitely, before we close it out, want to provide an opportunity to give the floor to other board members in case they have any commentary at all to share with this particular family. Any board member, board member Mapp, Vice President Weinberg, there we go, Dr. Moffitt.
I'm not going to be long. I'm always very quick and fast. So I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out today. Thank you for sharing your concerns, sharing everything. Thank you for being here. We definitely need to do this again. Our kids matter. As a parent of 2 students in CPS and as a graduate, CPS is very important to me. I want our students to thrive. I want our students to be safe. And I just want to thank you all for coming here tonight.
Do that to somebody in the booth. So I just want to introduce myself to everyone and say that I was in the room listening to everything that everyone had to say. My name is Gabriel Fletcher. I'm the Violence Reduction Manager at the City of Cincinnati. I'm fairly new into the position. I'm a civil and human rights attorney. I thought this was beautiful where everyone was giving their input and I was listening, taking notes, getting it all down. And as we're moving through this, you will see a lot of me and hear from me.
So I can take a cue from everybody. I usually have a lot to say. So of course I have something to say. Thank you so much for being here. This is what it's about. What we need you to do, because we intend to support Superintendent Murphy and her team as she continues these engagement sessions. But what we need you to do is to go back and tell somebody and bring them back with you. Because it's not enough to have this room filled. What we need to fill is the big room. And we're only going to do that if we each go back and tell someone else. So I really, really, really need you to reach out, reach back, reach around, bring somebody to the next one, because it's not gonna stop. As long as I'm on board, it's not gonna stop. This is how we save our kids. By working together, bringing them to the table, bring some students with you. If we need to do it at a different time of day, in addition to this time of day, we will do that. But this is not gonna stop, and you shouldn't want it to stop. It is great to hear from all of the partners. It is great to hear from community members. It is especially great to hear from parents about what you need. Because if you want my honest opinion, parents, this is a partnership with parents. This is about empowering. I'm sorry, guys. She tried to give me the cue, like, come on. But this is a partnership. The school is a partner with parents. We are partners with the community. The buildings are yours. We are working for you. So hold us accountable as we help to support you. This is not to replace you. This is to support you. And in order for us to support you, we gotta know what you need, and you gotta be at the table. So send us an email. Y'all send us emails for everything. Send us an email about what you need. Send us an email about what you hear. But most importantly, I really also want to give a big shout out to our staff. We have come in here some people have come in here and it's stressful. It's tense. The buildings are not doing this. The staff is not doing that. They are stretched thin. As a nation, they are stretched thin. Teachers, parents, support staff, our facilities, all of them are working really, really hard. So we gotta have some people in the building. Y'all know we don't have the money. We gotta have some people in the building helping us. So reach out to your school, volunteer, give your buildings, the neighborhood that you in. If you working near Pleasant Ridge, South Avondale, Roselawn, don't matter. Give them some time. talk to Ms. Thomas, who I think is coordinating volunteers. Please sign up to volunteer in the buildings. There is something that you can do. I promise you, there is something that you can do. If it's not tutoring and math is not your forte, we'll find something. And I'm gonna sit down, my granddaughter picked up another mic and tell me.
Board member Mapp and then Principal Walden, you have something you want to say, and then
I have a question, I can send it to Dr. Smith.
Okay.
Again, I will just reiterate what my colleagues and everyone in the room have stated. Thank you all for being here. I am so happy that we are having the conversation. I do come from the lens of a mental health therapist, and so I hear a lot of the solutions and I think that they are great. But I want us to be reminded that we just can't focus on what's coming downstream. We do have to focus on what's happening upstream, what is happening at the root, so that we can address those areas as well. Because those areas are important. I am so happy that we are in this room and we are in this space, because it does require community. We cannot do it in isolation. We cannot do it as a silo. We all are accountable. Every person, every partner, every parent, every teacher, every educator, and the students. You will see me bringing my little ones because they are accountable too. We are able to fix the problems that we're having as it pertains to our students. Safety and wellness, when everyone is at the table, everyone knows their role and their responsibility, and we roll up our sleeves and we go to work. So I am so grateful that we are having the conversations. I know that they will continue, and we can continue to have deeper conversations about what is at the root. So thank you again for coming.
7:30. I just want our staff to know I see you, and I appreciate you. Every single staff member, thank you for your support. And to everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay tuned. You'll hear about what's coming next. Doctor, did you want to say anything?
Listen, can we give Superintendent Murphy a round of applause? The school board, the city, all the parents, partners, just to decide to have the meeting. And a lot is going on, right? You guys, we all saw, we all seen it, and to have an opportunity to say, okay, we're going into this room, we coming in there, and whoever come in there, we coming in, we're gonna be ready, right? But to feel the love for the team and the board and the city and all of us talking about what's best for our young people, that's exciting because it's the community, it's the village mindset, right? Let's go back to where we used to be, where you couldn't go down the street without somebody telling your mama you was on the wrong street. Right? And all of us start there, we're going to be great. And again, thanks to Superintendent, our board president, vice president, board members, all of you, the city, all of you, just thank you, parents, everybody that came out that said, we stand in agreement with you, and we're not going to just talk about it, we're going to be about it. So we're excited to see you at the next meeting. All right. Have a good evening.